Why buying expensive coffee makes you feel more successful than you actually are. Let me ask you something simple. Have you ever walked out of a cafe holding a beautifully designed cup of coffee and felt just a little more accomplished? Maybe your day hadn't changed. Maybe your bank account hadn't changed. But somehow, holding that cup made you feel productive, professional, successful. Today we're going to talk about why that happens. Not because coffee is bad, not because spending $5 is irresponsible, but because small purchases can quietly influence how we see ourselves. This is about psychology. Welcome to Money Science AR. Let's begin with a small story. Two people wake up on a Monday morning. One makes coffee at home, the other stops at a premium cafe on the way to work. Both drink coffee, both go to the same office, both earn similar salaries, but one feels slightly elevated. Why? Because the experience created a signal. The cup, the brand, the atmosphere, the ritual. It felt intentional, it felt elevated, and that elevation translates into identity. Here's what's happening psychologically. Humans associate symbols with status. A branded coffee cup isn't just caffeine, it's a signal. It says, I'm busy, I'm productive, I value quality, I can afford small luxuries. Even if none of those statements are objectively proven, the brain connects consumption with identity, and identity shapes emotion. There's a concept in behavioral psychology called symbolic consumption. It means we buy products not just for utility, but for what they represent. Expensive coffee represents ambition, modern lifestyle, urban success, movement. It feels like participation in a certain social tier, and participation feels powerful. Now here's something interesting. The coffee itself doesn't change your income. It doesn't increase your productivity. It doesn't improve your long-term financial position. But it creates a micro moment of perceived success. And the brain loves perceived success. It releases dopamine. Dopamine doesn't measure net worth. It measures reward. So even a small luxury purchase can feel like progress. This is where perception and reality quietly separate. Perception says, I'm doing well. Reality says, my financial structure hasn't changed. This doesn't make you foolish, it makes you human, because our brains are wired to respond to immediate signals, not long-term math. Now let's zoom out. One expensive coffee per day may not seem significant, but let's calculate gently. $5 per day, that's $150 per month. That's $1,800 per year. Over 10 years, that's $18,000, and that's before considering opportunity cost. The point isn't to eliminate coffee, it's to understand how small habits scale over time. Small spending feels harmless. Repeated spending shapes financial direction. Here's the deeper issue. Expensive coffee doesn't just cost money, it reinforces identity. If every morning success feels linked to consumption, your brain builds a connection. I reward myself to feel successful. Over time, that can expand. Coffee becomes brunch. Brunch becomes weekend experiences. Experiences become lifestyle expectations. And lifestyle expectations shape fixed expenses. The coffee is symbolic. The structure is the long-term effect. Let's talk about environment. Premium coffee shops are designed intentionally. Lighting, music, interior design, branding, everything signals elevation. When you step inside, your mood shifts. You feel part of something aspirational. That feeling is powerful. And businesses understand that. You're not just buying caffeine, you're buying atmosphere, you're buying association, you're buying identity reinforcement. Now here's the subtle trap. When identity becomes tied to small luxury signals, removing them can feel like regression. Making coffee at home might feel like stepping backward, even if financially smarter. This is how emotional framing influences spending. It's not about the dollar amount, it's about what that dollar represents psychologically. There's also social signaling. Holding a recognizable branded cup signals lifestyle to others, even unconsciously. It says, I participate in modern professional culture. This may sound small, but humans are extremely sensitive to social signals. We evolved to care about belonging, and consumption is now one of the loudest forms of belonging. Here's something important. There is nothing wrong with enjoying coffee. The problem arises when small purchases create a false sense of financial progress. Feeling successful and being financially secure are not the same thing. One is emotional, the other is structural. The emotional reward is immediate. The structural reward is delayed, and delayed rewards require discipline. Imagine two different reward systems. System 1, spend $5, feel elevated instantly. System 2, save $5. Invest it. Feel nothing today. Feel powerful later. The brain prefers System 1, but wealth is built through System 2. This is why small spending habits matter, not because of morality, but because of reinforcement loops. Let's explore a deeper psychological layer. When people feel uncertain about career progress, income growth, or financial stability, they often look for small signals to confirm success. Premium coffee can act as that signal. It says, "I'm not struggling. I'm doing fine. I'm moving forward." Even if long-term savings are minimal, consumption becomes reassurance, and reassurance becomes habit. Now ask yourself something honest. If no one ever saw your coffee cup, would it still feel as powerful? That question reveals motivation. Again, there's no judgment, just awareness, because awareness breaks unconscious loops. Let's widen the perspective. This pattern doesn't stop at coffee. It applies to designer water bottles, premium gym memberships, luxury phone upgrades, high-end subscriptions, small, frequent lifestyle signals that reinforce identity. Individually harmless, collectively meaningful, because identity shapes spending behavior. Here's the calm truth. True financial success feels different. It's quieter. It doesn't need daily signals. It doesn't require visible markers. It shows up as low stress, emergency savings, investment growth, freedom to choose. Those things are invisible, but far more powerful. The goal isn't to eliminate joy. It's to detach identity from consumption. Drink good coffee if you enjoy it, but don't let it become proof of progress. Because proof of progress is measured in assets, not aesthetics. Try a simple experiment. For 1 month, redirect your coffee spending into a savings or investment account. Not to deprive yourself, but to observe. Watch the number grow, notice how it feels. You might discover a different kind of satisfaction. The satisfaction of accumulation, the satisfaction of control, the satisfaction of delayed reward. That satisfaction lasts longer than caffeine. Let's bring this home. Buying expensive coffee doesn't make you unsuccessful, but it can create the illusion of success without the structure behind it. The brain confuses lifestyle with leverage. Leverage builds wealth. Lifestyle consumes it. The difference is subtle, but over years, it becomes dramatic. So the next time you hold that cup, ask gently, am I buying caffeine or am I buying reassurance? If it's caffeine, enjoy it. If it's reassurance, build real reassurance instead. Real reassurance looks like savings, investments, low obligations, growing flexibility. Those don't fit in your hand, but they carry far more weight. This is Money Science AR, where we understand the psychology behind everyday money decisions. Not to judge, not to shame, but to think clearly. Because clarity builds control, and control builds wealth. I'll see you in the next episode.